Grandma said, "Never enter the bamboo forest after dark. There are o-sîn-á spirits that lure people away." But O-sîn-á was curious. One night he secretly slipped into the forest. The bamboo grove was eerily silent. Only the rustling of leaves stirred in the faint breeze. Under the moonlight, the atmosphere felt unsettling. Suddenly, a golden ring of light appeared, spinning gently around him. To his surprise, O-sîn-á wasn't afraid. He even smiled and played with the glowing ring. The ring floated forward slowly, guiding him out of the bamboo grove. He followed it all the way to a creek. Looking around, a chilling presence wrapped around him. Suddenly, a dark shadow ghost swept past. In the next moment, O-sîn-á felt as if he were drawn into an illusion. He saw a red shoe lying silently on the ground. From the shoe, golden light rose and turned into a spirit that flew high into the vast sky. It seemed that O-sîn-á's presence had allowed the spirit to be freed. In a flash, he was lying on a stone slab beside the local earth god's shrine. A gentle light shone on his face, as if blessing him. In his dream, a hunter appeared quietly beside him, silently watching over him with a warm and steady presence like the earth god, whispering to him. Then, a swordsman appeared. He said, "Child, calm your heart. Only by observing your emotions inwardly can you change your destiny." Dawn approached. O-sîn-á walked into the morning mist. Before him stood a celestial temple. Suddenly, he found himself sitting, exhausted, on the stone steps of the village shrine. After that night, O-sîn-á became more thoughtful and mature. He grew more humble in the face of mysteries that could not be explained. When Grandma found him, she didn't cry. She simply held him tightly, like a calm and steadfast guardian.
Do you know what a o-sîn-á is? Long ago, when forests were vast and rivers wild, no one, neither the native tribes nor the settlers from across the sea, dared to enter the mountains without care. The elders of the indigenous people would say, "The mountain is alive." Before entering, they poured rice wine on the ground, whispered to the spirits, and asked for safe passage. The settlers from the old land had their own beliefs. They spoke of something in the cool shade of bamboo groves and riverside, a spirit called o-sîn-á. Some said it could make you lose your way. Others believed it was only testing your heart. When your mind was too restless, when you rushed too fast, you might wander off the path. Then the old folks would say, "Ah, perhaps you've met a o-sîn-á." Each culture had a different story. Some feared it. Some saw it as a quiet reminder. But everyone agreed on one thing. When you enter the forest, walk humbly. Walk quietly. Some spirits don't scare or speak. They simply watch. Watch how you come in, and how you find your way back out. Whose shoe was that left behind? Some stories aren't told aloud. They're whispered by elders late at night. They say, to move between worlds, a spirit needs something to hold on to. Not always a ritual. Sometimes it's a memory, a word left unspoken, or an object they couldn't let go of. In certain villages, people speak of this. If a spirit becomes trapped in the in-between, it may leave behind a stand-in, a token to wait in this world for the way out. That token might be a stone, a blade of grass, or a small red shoe. It's not to frighten you, but to remind you. Some spirits can't return. Some people can't let go. So something is left behind, to stay in their place. When Anon saw that shoe, Perhaps it wasn't by chance. Maybe it was a quiet signal. I'm still here. Because that spirit was reaching for a door, and maybe we are the only door left open. Is there really a spirit in that stone? In many villages across Taiwan, you'll find small, simple shrines, but their incense always burns brightly. People come to light sticks, offer sweets, and whisper their wishes quietly after praying. Inside isn't some distant sky god, but a familiar figure known as the Earth God. His statue looks like an old man, with a beard, wearing a round hat, carved simply, yet instantly recognizable as the Earth God. The Earth God doesn't live far away. He's right here in our villages, by the fields, under old trees, beside the creek or the bridge. Those are his places. That's why some call him the Stone Lord. Some of these stones are natural, looking like a figure carved by time. Others are stones villagers carved eyes, nose, and mouth into, giving him a place to rest. My grandfather's generation still says, "Once upon a time, the Earth God was just a stone, not a statue." It's not a grand temple, but it holds deep respect. Sticks of incense stand in the earth. The stone sits quietly, as if someone is truly there, guarding the land. The Earth God doesn't perform miracles, but he knows how people on this land are living. Which rice field didn't yield grain? Which child fell ill? Whose heart carries silent worries? He sees all of that. They say the Earth God doesn't guard a palace, but the ground under our feet and our hearts, especially those unspoken wishes. He quietly keeps them tucked inside him. Why do the people from Tangshan worship the Wang Yi? Anan's grandma once said, "Our ancestors came from Tangshan. They crossed the dark sea by boat, carrying ancestral tablets, incense burners, and the gods they held in their hearts. These gods weren't distant immortals in the sky. They were the Wang from their hometowns. When someone was sick, they prayed to Wang. If a fire broke out, they asked Wang Yu for help. When children grew up safe and elders stayed well, they whispered thanks to Wang. So Wang temples were often built near the sea or harbors, because Wang isn't a god who watches from afar. He is one who came ashore with them, who farmed the land, lived the life, and shared their burdens." Anan asked, "Grandma, who is Wang?" She smiled and said, "Wang is a god with a name and a story. Some were doctors, others were just officials, and some even gave their lives to protect the people."
There was a pair of little red shoes glowing softly under the moon. A child had a quiet dream, walking through forest and silver bloom. An old spirit sat on a stone, watching the world without a sound. Not a god from stars above, but a guardian near, forever around. What we forget, it still remembers. What we can't say, it gently hears. And when you stop to truly listen, a light will speak through silent tears. forget, it still remembers. What we can't say, it gently hears. And when you stop to truly listen, a light will speak through silence.